So, next to me, I'm joined by Gawain Jones here, who's English Grandmaster, 23 years old, and 2600 strength. So,
or was a couple of games ago anyway.
Or was a 2600 strength a couple of games ago. He's had a bit of a bad run. We looked at one of Gawain's games in the Grand Prix yesterday, which was very exciting. We're just taking a look at Manuel's game actually.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty horrible for him, doesn't it?
It looked pretty horrible, but he was doing very well earlier on, I think. I mean, it looked like he had a very good position. It was a Grand Prix. Did you help him prepare for this one?
Yeah,
you did. Right, okay.
We're sharing a room, so
yeah, we thought you might
use my computer to prepare.
Did he use all your secrets? So
I didn't see the opening, so I'm not sure.
Okay, well it's the same as your opening yesterday. Instead of D5, Black played D6.
Oh, okay.
Which ended up to be quite good for White. So what about the other games? There's been lots of draws up there today.
Yeah.
I mean, shall we see the opening moves of your game? Just to see how it went. Let's have a look at the opening games of Gawain's game.
Someone, Roy.
Okay, we should be able to get it up with this. So, Gawain, you were playing black here, so let's just see how the opening ended up for you here. So how are you feeling? I know you were playing quite a lot of blitz yesterday, shall we say?
Yeah.
So what time did you finish playing blitz, Gawain? What time? I finished quite respectable time, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I was playing blitz for another 3.5 hours after that.
So you finished at 5:30.
Yeah.
So 5:30. So that's quite impressive going, Gawain. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, after my painful loss.
After your painful.
Just out of my system.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if anyone else out there has got a question for Gawain they want to ask Gawain while he's here.
I agree with Tom's message there. Someone get Gawain at San Miguel.
We've got you a glass of water, but that's probably not much. Not much good for you, I'd say at the moment. So yeah, we are joined with Gawain Jones. If you have got a question on the podcast, then we can ask Gawain that, as long as it's in the boundaries of sensibility, which is not always. Yeah, this man's always quite entertaining. So yes, yeah, we do get him quite a lot, which is so.
That's quite nice.
Yes, it's all good. So what was your opening anyway today, Gawain? So
you're
E4, black. Yep.
Yeah, I was black. C5.
C5. Yep.
Yeah, knight C3. Knight C6.
So you're black here. So someone's played a Grand Prix against you.
Yeah, I'm not sure
a bit
he
cheeky,
noticed that I played it myself.
No, that's very cheeky.
Well, he went knight C6, bishop B5, which is kind of my speciality line.
Yeah.
So it's unusual to be on the black side of it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's quite interesting to see what you play against Grand Prix. So if you went F4 here, you're going to give away your secrets. And,
I'm not sure what I was going to play actually. I noticed he played bishop B5 before.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, probably gone into a main line
with G6.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So with bishop to G5 here, what happens here then? So knight to D4. Did you play? I guess.
Knight D4.
So this is the main line Grand Prix, really.
Well, yeah, the modern Grand Prix anyway. It's bishop B5 line.
Has Magnus Carlsen played bishop B5?
Probably. Lots of top players have played it. It's been It was very topical about 5 or 6 years ago.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Slightly out of the limelight now, but it's...
So bishop C4 is the main move. I guess you played that. Bishop to C4. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and now I played knight F6.
Knight to F6. Okay.
Which I was following Tom Rindle's game against Danny O'Malley in Hastings.
Right. And what was the result of that game? Sorry,
Black
Tom.
Won that one.
And what colour was Tom on? Is he the white side of it?
He was white, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty horrible actually. I saw that game.
Yeah,
I wish I'd have played that rather than the Alicante against him. So
it's probably just a move order issue, but I thought I would confuse my opponent playing this way.
Yeah.
So the point is you can't go E5 because D5 is strong.
Okay, so this is quite a nice tactical point behind knight to F6. So after knight to F6, the main lines was it knight to E2?
Knight E2, but he went knight F3, which I think is slightly inaccurate.
You think knight to E2 is better? Why do you think the knight's better on E2 rather than F3 going?
Well, on F3 he has some problems later when I've got subsequent bishop G4 ideas pinning that knight.
Okay, so later on this could be a nasty pin on the knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also got the problem that F4 is harder to play now.
Right.
I've just felt when I play it myself the knight's more flexibly placed on E2.
Okay, so if knight E2, the two advantage of this is you can play F4 later on, and maybe bishop G4 could be met by something like F3.
Yeah,
so something
or
like
just
this.
H3.
H3, yeah, there's no problems. Okay, so knight to F3 was played.
And E6.
Okay, E6, yeah.
He castled. and I played a6, avoiding the
so
opening trap.
So there is quite a common trap in this position, which I've actually fallen for myself, being the patzer I am. I think against the famous Danny Gormally, and I think Danny Gormally was white here, if I'm right. I think it was at Hastings. I actually played d5 here. So Gawain, what was the trick after d5? It was
where you take
e takes d5,
both, and now knight takes d5 is.
And then this is
a strong trick.
This is a very nice trick that Danny actually played against me. It's quite funny actually, because the story about this, I was in the same place as Danny, same hotel, and I was speaking to Richard Pert in my room, and Danny was about to knock on the door and come in to like see if he wanted to probably have a drink, but he knew I was playing him the next day, and just before he knocked on the door, he could hear me talking, so. He actually thought, okay, well, let's see what he's talking about.
He
actually found out that I was going to play this line, and obviously my preparation was a load of rubbish because I walked straight into it, and this is exactly what happened, or something very similar to this.
Well, the point is that after knight takes d5, white swaps on d4, and then queen h5 is really awkward.
So queen to h5.
The only way to defend the knight and the f7 pawn is bishop e6, but now rook e1, and there are loads of pins. Threatening rook takes e6 check, and queen takes d5, or bishop takes d5. And so this is probably just, well, it's an extra pawn with the nice position. You have to go back the piece.
This is actually just winning for white, probably, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, if you go G6 actually fails, just the queen takes d5 at the simplest.
Yeah.
There might even be a better move than that. The queen, I mean, probably even better than that is queen to e5 first, even better, so you can capture on d5 your bishop. I mean, it's pretty horrible for black anyway. It's a nice little trick that anyway. So this is why a lot of people go a6 here, isn't it?
Yeah. So I went a6.
Yeah.
And he played a3.
This is your favourite move. I think you were recommending this last week, weren't you? So a3.
But it's quite different here. I was recommending a3 with the knight on e2.
Okay.
But there's a big difference now.
Yeah.
He should probably go d3, which is the main line.
Right, d3. And the point of, if you go a5, a4 even, maybe it's the same with a3, d5 is even possible then? Is that what happened in the game?
Yeah, that's
okay, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. So d3 is what you consider to be white's
line.
Okay,
and d5 is still not playable because of the same trick.
Okay, so you still can't go d5.
Although it's a bit messier with the knight on f3 because there might be bishop g4s, sacking a pawn. But the main line is b5, bishop b3, knight takes b3, a takes b3.
Yeah, a takes b3.
And then bishop b7 to defend that pawn on b5.
Right, yeah. And this is probably okay for black, I guess. But if your knight was on e2 now, you might have the chance of going f4.
Yeah.
So it's probably better placed on it.
I don't think the knight's so good on f3.
No. So, but it's I think Shirov won a game recently, black against Tiryakov, in something similar to this.
Yeah, that was with the knight on e2. So these could go f4.
Yeah.
Ideas.
So, because you always want to play f4 in the Grand Prix anyway, I guess. So,
yeah.
So there. So what happened in your game anyway?
So he went a6. a3.
Okay.
And now I can go d5.
d5. Yep. And the point being, this trick. Why doesn't this trick work? Because after e takes, knight takes d5.
Yeah, you can same line.
Take here.
Queen h5, bishop e6. I actually expected this because he had a long think after I went d5.
Oh really? So and the point being, his pawn on a6 stops lots of checks on.
Yeah.
So bishop
e6, rook e1.
Yeah.
Knight f4.
Knight f4.
And in the previous line, there was bishop b5 check at that point, forcing king e7. But now the pawn a6.
So it's quite a subtle point having this pawn on a6 anyway. And
you just black wins material now.
Okay.
You probably have to go rook takes e6, but just knight takes.
This might even be what I had against Danny actually. Knight takes, and if bishop takes, then
queen e7, I guess. That's the easiest.
And there's a bit of a problem on e1.
Yeah, black's exchanged for pawn up and got the initiative.
It's pretty unpleasant then, really. So, okay, so if we go back, unfortunately your opponent didn't play this because that would have been nice and nice quick game for you, as you probably wanted after all that blitz games you had yesterday. So
yeah, it would be nice. My average number of moves is rather high this time.
How many moves was today's game?
Today's was 44. 45 or something, I think.
45. So your average?
Well, I was 108 the first round and 80 something the second round.
I see you played a lot of moves then.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of moves.
So nice to have a quick game at some point this tournament.
You get a quick game tomorrow.
And I can come into the commentary room earlier.
That's right.
Watch the games.
You can help me out then.
So yeah, so I went d5 here.
So you went d5. Right. Okay.
He took
ED.
takes. And now I guess he was worried if he goes back to a2, then bishop g4 might be slightly awkward.
So this is another point of having the knight on e2. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you did this variation of the knight on e2, bishop g4 just wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, probably go f3 then, yeah.
But now it's quite.
It might still be okay. You can go queen e1 check. That was main line I was analysing, but
queen e1 here. Okay, it's quite interesting. So
my main line for analysis was bishop e7,
Yep.
knight takes d4, cd, knight e2.
Is there anything else there? Okay, knight e2. Okay, looks.
And then I thought I probably could get away with castling, although d3 is interesting too.
Yeah, d3 to try to hem this bishop in, I guess. Something like that.
And then castle and I get play down the e file.
Okay,
He doesn't have time to win that d4 pawn.
So if he does take this pawn, you were going to just play.
Probably just rook e8.
Okay, and now this is a move. Okay, let's plop this up here. Okay, it looks a bit dangerous.
Yeah.
Let's just.
I would have gone into more depth in this, but I thought that my play looked pretty impressive. The queen looks short on squares. Bishop d6.
Maybe even bishop c5 is a good move here.
Oh, bishop c5 might just win a piece actually, with the rook e4 next move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the queen has to go to e3.
Okay.
But
so if the queen goes to e3, I mean, still bishop c5 is going to be very good for you, I guess. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a better move here as well. So. Yeah, you got loads of play for the
yeah,
board
it's
anyway.
Good play anyway. And I could have gone d3 as well. So.
Okay, so two good moves in this position, either d3 or just castles, but castles looks quite strong.
Okay, the interest kind of disappears out of the game now, though, because instead of a2, went back to e2.
Went back to
but then there's no real point to a3.
Right.
And I had a long think here, about 25 minutes, just trying to come up with a good move that wasn't just equal.
We're trying to spice things up here a bit. Where you
yeah,
I mean,
because I wanted to play something like bishop d6.
Okay.
Knight takes d4, cd4, knight b1.
I guess you wanted to.
And I was trying to get something on the king side quickly.
What about h5 then, Quain?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Maybe the threat of bishop takes h2 check? Maybe.
d3.
d3, okay, so.
Maybe knight g4s now.
Knight g4. If I take on h2 here, then you can defend because you've got something bishop f4, haven't you?
Yeah,
for example,
I hope so.
Queen comes over here. Queen comes over here, bishop f4. I'll probably still, running out of pieces yet again. So I mean, another interesting idea. Instead of this, maybe you could go d3 first.
That's interesting, actually.
Because if bishop takes, then I'm going to go bishop takes h2 check. King takes. Well, I don't know if I am going to play this, but it looks like fun.
I guess the king has to go forwards to g3.
So king to g3. This is
This looks, this
is quite entertaining.
Well, I was trying to get things like this, but I didn't really want to.
You don't want to risk it too much.
Another loss while you're playing like this.
No, I mean maybe this is a good thing to do against someone like Vanchuk or just to spice things up. But
and when I'm feeling completely confident with my own play, but at the moment I'm feeling I'm missing tactics, so playing like this isn't very sensible.
No, maybe this is what you'd have played last night at 5 in the morning. So
it's more fun than what I played in the game.
5 AM variation. So so okay, well D3 is a possibility here, I guess. I mean, I suppose after D3 bishop takes. I mean, bishop takes h2 is very tempting here.
Yeah. No, that was interesting actually. It's an idea.
I mean, maybe you can go knight g4 immediately as well. It's another.
Rook e1 check.
Okay, I guess you're just defending with h3 here as well.
Maybe.
Rook e1, king f8.
Yeah. Not sure.
No.
It does look quite dangerous.
It's
very messy
with all these pieces over here. Anyway. Could be sort of
Yeah, maybe I could have done something like this.
Okay, but yeah, interesting way to continue, I guess. Okay, so after bishop e2, did you just?
I just took it.
Okay, and queen takes.
Queen takes.
Bishop e7.
No, I went queen e7 because bishop e7 d4 I thought probably equalised.
Okay. And could leave you with an isolated pawn, I guess, as well.
Yeah, well maybe I can go c4.
c4.
Rook e1.
Right. It's a bit unpleasant, this pin on your king as well.
Yeah.
So, don't know exactly what you do here.
I wasn't quite sure either.
No.
That's why I went queen e7.
Okay, queen e7, sensible. So all the pieces are coming off again.
Well, I went back to d1.
You went back to d1?
Yeah, I've got a nice edge if he swaps queens, but I thought rook e1 might be the best move.
Rook E1.
And then I'm probably going to just trade queens.
Yeah. Rook takes.
Yeah, bishop E7.
Bishop E7.
And some line like D4.
Yeah.
And then C4. I suppose bishop G5, bishop E6.
Okay.
And you can take on F6 to double my pawns, but I think my bishop pair is the most important part of this position.
Yeah.
And then I push on the queen side.
Also got this, yeah, B5 and A5, I guess, coming in, so it should be quite good for you. This bishop's quite good though, aren't they? So.
Yeah, the bishops should give me the advantage. And my pawn structure isn't so bad on the king side. Covers important squares, E5 square.
Looks okay for you, doesn't it?
Okay, so he went queen D1.
It's queen D1, so he's trying to grovel for a draw, I guess, around here, is he? If you go queen D8.
Yeah, repeat.
Draw, please. So
I went D4 to stop him playing D4.
So you turn down the draw with D4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rook E1,
Rook E1.
bishop E6, knight back to E2.
Okay.
Not quite sure about that. But
Just looking if there's anything a bit more interesting. Can you go knight to... It looks a bit funny on A4, but...
yeah, well, I kept having to look at knight A4 lines, but
it's one of those ones you just want to...
if I just go queen C7 or queen D6, then I'm going to throw in B5, trapping that knight.
Let's just see if there's any way you can take advantage of development. I doubt it.
In this position, I might just be able to go B5 as well, actually.
B5 here.
Yeah, and then rook E8.
It's quite interesting. It's B5. The idea, knight B6, then you just go rook to B8, and a good knight, little knight.
Yeah.
But, I'll go A4 here, Gwen.
I think I'll probably just take that knight.
So you're just going to take that knight, and now I'm going to take it to B5. This is like one of our games we were playing last night, isn't it? Well,
you know, worst case, I move like queen B7. It's
so
going to be an
worst
extra
case,
piece.
you're going to go queen B7 and be up a piece.
Yeah.
It's not very kind of you. Oh, come on, let's have some fun. You're going to take this, surely, aren't you? And I'm going to go rook A8 and
then win my queen.
And then, okay, well, yeah, so queen B7 probably stops that load of rubbish. Queen B7, and I'm getting a bit desperate for compensation here.
Yeah. I only need 2 moves to castle.
I'm lacking any compensation, and yeah, 2 moves on your king side. So knight A4 doesn't work. Knight E2 just looks a bit passive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit passive.
So you reckon knight E4 is a better move here?
Maybe knight E4 is better, yeah. But still, it's very pleasant for me, I think.
Sure. And
got the bishop pair and more space.
yeah, so let's see a couple more moves.
So knight E2, queen C7,
queen C7,
knight G3.
knight G3.
Probably the wrong move order, but I think D3 first was more accurate, because then I have to defend the F4 square.
Okay. So if white played D3, then because of maybe the threat of knight to F4, you have to play bishop to D6 or something like this to defend the D4 square. Okay, but after knight to G3, you don't have to go bishop to D6 anymore.
Yeah, so I just went bishop E7.
Bishop E7. Your position's looking quite good now, I guess.
Yeah.
2 bishops and...
I just got very normal after D3.
Okay.
I castled kingside. Queenside is interesting, but again, I was playing safe.
Playing safe today, yeah. Get a point on the box there. And this, to be fair, I mean, looks very good.
Yeah, I've just got a nice edge with my bishop pair and more space.
Yeah, pawn on D4, 2 bishops. This light square bishop's really strong, actually, isn't it? I mean, maybe you can put it on D5 even, or something like this, possibly.
Well, yeah, first, a couple more moves. We went knight G5,
Knight G5,
bishop G4.
Okay.
I want him to play F3, because then the E3 square is really vulnerable.
Yeah, so if he plays F3, he's created quite a big hole, hasn't he, on E3 here, so...
And my bishop can go back to C8 safely.
Okay, so what did he play after this?
He went queen D2.
He didn't try to repeat and hope you go bishop E6 again. So, okay, so queen D2 is a bit not an ideal square for the queen.
No.
Yeah.
Rook E8.
Rook E8, sensible.
H3.
H3.
Bishop back to D7.
Nice and calm.
I think he went queen back to D1.
Queen back to D1.
And
hello, Odin. So we've got another late night blitz player coming into the establishment.
Later than me, I think.
Later than Gawain. What time are you playing blitz to?
We all winners then on the late night blitz.
So 5, 6 o'clock. So
Your
this
opponent.
is well, good stuff. So how'd you get on in the end in the blitz? You can't remember.
I think me and
yeah.
won some games against Fiona and
Okay.
Yeah, we were playing pairs.
Pair chess. So anyway, look, it's a good thing about chess tournament. You can get extra practice in after hours. You know, we've got lots of room in the bar here, so it's very hospitable. So okay, good stuff. So yeah, we're just looking at Gawain's game here anyway. This is his win from earlier with the black pieces, and he's got the advantage here. So, how did you finish him off, Gwaine?
Well, okay, we can go through quickly. Bishop d6.
Bishop d6. Okay. Nice bishops.
Knight 3 e4.
Okay.
I think. Or was it the other knight? It doesn't really matter. Knight takes knight.
Yep.
Knight takes knight. I went bishop back to f8. Just need to keep that bishop pair.
Yeah.
Bishop d2.
Okay, hasn't got any good squares, bishop, I guess. So
No.
bishop d2 looks fairly sensible.
I think it's here where I decided to go f5 to get rid of that knight. Slightly double-edged decision, but if my king is going to be exposed.
Do you think that's the riskiest decision of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. As a strategic
Yeah.
weakness, the long term. But I
Okay.
thought control of e4 was quite important here.
Right. So did you go knight g5?
Yeah, knight g5.
Okay, so I'd love now to go queen to d5.
Yeah.
Queens don't jump over 3 pieces, do they, in chess, unfortunately.
Kick that knight back first.
Queen to h5 as well.
Yeah.
But it is your move. Okay, so you went h6. A wise plan. And his knight had to come all the way back. Okay.
Bishop c6.
This is a lovely piece, this light square
Yeah.
bishop, isn't it? Very nice piece on there. c6, so yeah.
And now my plan, if he does nothing, is probably bishop d6, queen d7, bishop c7, queen d6, and he can't stop mate.
Right, so nice and simple.
Because g3, queen d5, and I switch.
We saw a similar idea, maybe that Korchnoi had chances of using earlier on.
Okay.
I just put in this, don't know what's going on here with my arrows.
Double-sided arrow.
Get carried away here. So. All right, let's just play another move. I'm sure that disappears. Bishop c6.
Yeah, so he went c3 to try and get some counterplay, but now
Okay.
he's got weaknesses over there.
Yeah.
I took on
maybe
c3.
the queen coming out here. Eh?
Yeah, I've got to be careful about my light squares.
Okay.
Rook takes rook.
So if you went queen b3, you just move your king, and you're going to take on f3 next.
Yeah, and his king's chronically exposed.
Chronic. Exposed.
chop.
So, yeah.
Took back with the rook.
Yeah.
Bishop takes c3.
Yeah.
So he's trying for... If he can play d4 and knight e5, then he's not so much worse.
Okay.
So I have to do something fairly quickly.
This pawn on d3 is a bit of a weakness, so I guess if you can get rid of it, then it's going
Yeah.
to help your position somewhat. So, yeah.
So I went queen f7.
Queen f7.
Now if he goes knight e5, I can take it.
Oh, you can take it. Nice little trick there.
Yeah.
So bishop takes, then
And queen d5.
just see how strong this bishop always is. It's such a good piece in most positions, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so after queen s7.
So he chose to go d4 here.
Okay, pawn to d4. Yeah.
But now I can win a pawn with rook d8.
Oh. And he's in all sorts of trouble here, I guess.
Yeah, well at least he gets rid of my light square bishop. But
I suppose he gets rid of his bad pawn by losing it as well.
yeah.
So that's
Oh yeah, I wasn't completely sure at the start whether I should have gone into this, but
No.
I think it's good for me.
It still looks okay.
So knight e5,
Okay.
queen d5, threaten
Right.
mate in 1. So he has to take the bishop.
50-50 chance. So, I mean, you could have gone here and, well, no.
Well, no.
I mean, you could have just seen if you'd spotted it. I don't know. So. Okay, so he had to get rid of his bishop.
Took back with the pawn.
Okay, if queen takes,
Queen
it's
takes,
got
queen b3 check. And
Okay.
he's got a good bishop of his own on c3 if I'm not careful too.
So, I mean, if you weren't winning this pawn, he'd be absolutely fine here, if not better, I guess. So,
Yeah,
But you are winning this pawn.
I'm winning the pawn and
And you got
undoubling mine.
you got good old pressure on d5 there.
Yeah, I
Happy
probably
days.
should be winning this position by now.
Yep. Okay, so this
Okay,
is what
queen
happened.
a4,
A4. Yep.
cd.
CD.
Now what's the move order?
Rook D1.
Rook D1, yeah.
Okay, he's got to try this.
c5,
C5. Yep.
and he tried material equality with taking the pawn on a6.
Well, I
But I
suppose.
think that's a
Okay,
dodgy decision.
but if he doesn't take the pawn on A6, then
I'm going rook
Yeah.
d8 next move.
you're probably going to win this
Yeah.
eventually. Pawn up. So okay, so why doesn't taking on A6 work then?
Well, queen
Queen.
b3 is now
Queen to B3. Okay,
difficult to stop.
so bit of a tactic in the middle order. So yeah,
So
exterminate. Someone has said so. So fair enough. Okay, so Queen to B3.
So queen f1 is forced now. It's the only move not
Okay.
to lose material
So-
immediately.
Okay, yep.
And now I was tempted by taking the bishop.
I just knew you'd be tempted by that move. So okay,
But,
so let's have a look at this. It's quite fun. So
yeah.
you take the bishop. You've got to take your rook on d8.
And then I play cb2, I guess.
Okay, but this game you're doing a no risk policy.
Yeah.
Is that right? So
Well, now, yeah, after queen b1, I wasn't sure how I...
Okay, because if he goes rook to d1, you just
go c4, and yeah,
no,
my pawn's going to
okay, so
decide.
So he has to go queen to b1 with maybe at some point with some...
Yeah, well, he's got ideas of going king h2 and then taking on f5.
Okay. So...
And, yeah, I thought that this was too messy.
It's a bit messy, isn't it? Definitely.
Because maybe he even just goes rook c8, and
yeah.
I'm not sure how my...
Can you go queen to c3 here? Oh, he just moves his king anyway.
Maybe just takes on f5 then, because he's threatening mate,
Takes
even if I queen.
Okay, that's quite crafty.
So this might be... There may be some win here, but it's
I mean, when you've got a better
complex way of
position,
doing it.
unless you work it, there's no point taking any risk,
Yeah.
is there? So it's just...
So I chose simple
Yeah.
rook b8.
Okay, winning the b2 pawn.
Yeah, bishop drop back to d2, chop the pawn, bishop f4,
Yep.
rook a8,
Okay.
Queen c4 check,
You got to check in.
king h8,
Yep.
bishop back to c1. It's a bit miserable, but it's the only way to defend that pawn.
So can you go a bit mad? Can you go a bit mad on you? And just okay, it's not going to work, but I want to go.
I can just take the a pawn, can't I?
Yeah, okay. I want to go rook g3 and
Oh,
stay
okay.
over here. But
And if bishop c1, rook a1.
right,
That's everything.
sure.
Yeah, I have to be slightly careful about my king, but
If
since
you-
he's
if
not
you-
got any other light squared piece apart from the queen,
Yeah,
the problems
problems all over the shop.
aren't too bad for me.
So he went bishop to c1,
Yeah.
grovelling defensive of the a3 pawn here. So
Back to b7.
queen to b7. Okay.
Rook e1.
Rook e1. I see we just had Adam Hunt join us and on the live stream. So hello there, Adam. Hope you're doing all right. Adam's one of our peers, I guess.
Yeah.
He's be a grandmaster very soon from England. So yep, good to see him logging on. But anyway, after rook to e1, what happened here?
Queen d7.
Queen to d7.
Still just playing safely.
Yeah, keep those pawns under control. So
Rook e5.
rook to e5. Yep.
Bishop d6. I quite like bishop d6. It required a bit of
Okay.
calculation, but
Got to be a bit careful, but
so the point is, if queen d5,
yeah.
Then-
Okay.
I go rook d8, and wherever he puts the rook, I'm going bishop h2 check. So
Nice little touch there. So, for example, let's say rook takes f5, bishop to h2, check.
yeah, it's easily winning.
Yeah, it's a bit nasty for him. So
Yeah. And the other line I had to calculate was rook d5,
rook d5.
and now I was going to play queen e6, I think,
Okay, taking advantage of a pin here, but
and also threatening queen e1.
which is going to be mate probably.
Well, picks up the queen f4 and bishop h2 check,
Nice. So, for example, if he played.
and play bishop d2, I guess, stop it.
Okay, this is one last punt. So
Okay, queen
bishop to
e1
f4.
check,
Okay, so bishop to f4.
or bishop takes bishop.
Or
Bishop takes
bishop takes
bishop takes bishop, rook d8.
Okay, so rook to d8.
I think this is still winning, but
You think
yeah,
this is still
it's
winning?
rook
Okay.
takes rook and d3.
Okay, and then d3, so you're still winning.
But
I
yeah,
can be a
there's
little bit annoying. So okay,
There's
so,
no need to go into all of this. You just
Yeah.
you just go queen e1 check
Just
first.
go queen e1 and spoil all the fun. So okay, all right, yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a nice little tactic there anyway.
So
So
instead you retreated to e1,
okay, so rook e1,
rook a4.
rook a4. So getting the queen away from its blockading square. So yep.
And I'm going c4 next move, wherever the queen goes. Well, queen
So let's
d5,
say
I
it
go
goes
bishop
queen.
h2 check.
Okay.
But-
So what if you went queen s7 going, but you're still going to go c4 then?
Against any move that doesn't drop the queen, I was going to go c4.
Okay, so even queen. Okay.
That drops the queen.
So any move that doesn't drop the queen, that's a challenge. Right. Okay. Okay. Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give up.
So the queen dropped back to c2,
Queen back to c2.
and after c4, he basically resigned. He played bishop takes h6.
So he basically resigned. What does that mean?
Well,
he played bishop takes h6.
But I was worried because in the first 2 games,
Yeah.
I was completely winning the first one and blundered and only
sure.
drew it. The second one, I was completely winning and blundered and lost. And so at this point, he played bishop takes h6.
And
I
you went,
had a panic attack and go, well, I missed it. Not another one.
So he just wanted to put a bit of fear on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember once when I was a kid, I had I did that similar thing to my opponent. I think it's I don't know what his name is, but so I can't remember. It was in a London under 16 championships or something like that, and I was much younger than my opponent. And I was about to resign, but I thought, okay, let's just scare him because he's walking around, away from the board so much. And I just moved my queen from somewhere like B1 all the way to G7, where it'd be checkmate. And he came back and he sort of saw checkmating his board. And he just started panicking just because he thought he missed it. And I just burst out laughing and felt a bit guilty. But yeah, so anyway, it was quite funny at the time. Good way to resign. So after bishop takes h6,
I took
on
h6,
and
now if he'd gone queen d2, which looked like the only
kind of way
logical,
to try to.
then I think I'd go king h7.
So were you a little bit scared around here, or not? Really?
Yeah, well,
a little bit,
slightly, but then I thought for 30 seconds ago, okay, there's nothing, just king h7, and
king h7.
he can't take the pawn on d4 because bishop h2 checks. So.
You like this little check, don't you? That's coming quite often.
It's quite useful having my pawns defended.
Yeah, definitely. So
instead, after g takes, he played queen takes a4, which
queen takes a4
again confused me, and
this is like
for a second.
Did you panic again?
Yeah.
It's not given you've been playing blitz until 5 in the morning when your opponent plays all these moves you're not expecting, and you're just like, there's another move I missed. So yeah.
So
So
okay, queen takes queen.
So queen takes queen.
Rook e8 check.
Can you give this one up? Rook to e8 check.
Queen takes rook, and then he finally resigned.
So he's going for glory.
Yeah.
Okay. So a nice game anyway. That wasn't as boring as you made it out to be honest. So
it was just a calm game, at least. I didn't allow myself to lose. So
So it was a good smooth game. So okay. So you'll be back anyway.
Yeah.
Back up there soon. So
at the end of the tournament, I'll be back on the commentary boards.
Yeah, what do you reckon? 8.5 out with 10, so something like that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You'll take that, will you? Okay. Well,
maybe even 8.